us on that little break. Yes, the groundhog said 6 more weeks of winter, which is such a bummer, but hey, I'm here joined by Jack Frame, who is one of our awesome photogs. He's been here for a long time. And this
35 years.
Can you believe that, though? If you look at him, I can't believe that. Okay, I met him one of my first days working here, and it was so great to just chat with him about his experience. We have a lot of stuff in common, and this is probably my favorite story that I wanted to make sure I brought to you before the Super Bowl actually hits on Sunday. First off, you are here with some relic, an amazing jacket.
This
right?
is the not too often worn Super Bowl jacket from Super Bowl 26, which was the last time the Redskins played in a Super Bowl and they won. They beat the Buffalo Bills.
That is awesome. Okay, your connection, you are a Buffalo fan.
Right. I grew up in Rochester, New York, but I'm a longtime Buffalo Bills fan. So I had to shoot the game. And I was in the end zone. Every single Redskin touchdown came to my camera. And it was killing me to watch my team get beat by the Redskins.
This is, wow.
So we all went out and bought memorabilia from that day, from that game, and this is my Super Bowl jacket from January 26, 1992.
Oh my goodness.
And it's been sitting in a closet in one of our bedrooms, and I rarely wear the coat because for me it's not a great memory.
Yes.
Although, you know, I have a lot of friends that are Redskin fans, including my wife. So yeah, we live with it as Bills fans. If you're a Bills fan out there, you know the pain. We lost 4 straight Super Bowl, which is still a record.
And you know, that's relevant because I do have a lot of you guys viewing from all over the nation. I know you're all from different places, and so this is totally relevant. But I love this, and it's still in such good shape from '92. But even cooler, both of them are cool. Check out this picture. I have to show you this. He showed me this the other day. You are on the right in this picture.
Yes, in the
red jacket.
In the red jacket.
Okay.
And the guy on the extreme left is Ernie Bauer. He is the one that put this on Facebook that kind of resurrected this photo. I have a copy of this. So this was a Channel 5 crew that went to Minneapolis to produce programs. We were all in on it because it's the Redskins and the Super Bowl. And at the time, we only had a 10 o'clock news, but we did a lot. We had a lot to produce for the whole week leading up to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And I'll tell you something about the guy on the left there, Ernie Bauer. He was a director here at Channel 5, but he had another job. He worked for CBS. He was part of the A-Team broadcast team. Wow. So not only did he work with Channel 5, but he had a part-time job. And his job for CBS was to stand on the sideline. We had this gigantic orange, they call it the orange glove.
Okay.
And he would signal the referee when to go to timeouts. That was his job for CBS. A very important job because it stopped the game. It allowed whoever was broadcasting the Super Bowl to run their commercials. So he's a very pivotal, important person on the sideline who literally had the power to stop the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And that's Ernie Bauer on the left.
That's really
Every
cool.
football game that's broadcast has a guy like that, but in a Super Bowl, he's got to have great communication with the directors so they can get all the commercials in. So that was his job. He didn't do that for Fox. He did that for CBS.
For CBS, a side job.
As a side job.
Yeah.
And then next to Ernie to the right is Steve Buckhantz, who used to be our sportscaster here, is now the voice of the Washington Wizards.
Oh, he is?
Yes, he's the TV voice.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, so then you're on the right there with all your gear.
And then in the very middle is Kevin Kogan. He's no longer with us. He passed away a few years ago.
Really?
Yep, he was an editor here, really fantastic videotape editor. Did a great job for Channel 5, doing a lot of things, but he also was really good at sports. So back then, you couldn't take a laptop and edit your video on it. It had to be all this machinery, these big, huge videotape machines. So Kevin operated those machines, but the two guys in the bottom, Frank Crisafulli on the right, and Joe Yasheroff on the left, they drove from Washington, D.C.
Oh, I love this story. This is crazy. Oh, yes, come in.
Don's here.
Don,
they drove from Washington, D.C. all the way to Minneapolis in this old minivan with all this equipment.
Yeah.
And as they were driving out, we got a call from them saying that the heater's not working in the van. And come to find out,
they actually attempted this drive to Minneapolis.
They did do it, but all the way. Remember, it's January, and they drove all the way to Minneapolis with cold air blowing on them inside in the van because they didn't realize that in these older vans they used to have these mechanical pull things that you could close vents. It wasn't done electronically. You'd had to manually reach and close the vent. And they left them open. They didn't know any better. They didn't know any better. And they said the heater doesn't work, and all it was they had to close these vents. So that was a source of...
Jack and I offered to drive it back, but
they drove it back.
Well, what actually happened, they didn't want any part of driving this van anymore after driving it out to Minneapolis and back. So they ended up flying back, and then the chief engineer actually drove it back. But Don and I said, we'll do it. But they wouldn't let us do it because they wanted us back so we could start shooting again, doing other stories. But we would have probably landed up God knows where if we had driven back.
I know.
Don would have been stopping at every iron skillet along the way.
So many great things on a road trip.
Yep.
Don, you're in this picture too, right?
Yeah.
You're there.
That's actually it was taken on my camera.
Oh, it was?
This is his camera. So I'm taking this from Don's Twitter page, actually. Also another acclaimed photojournalist here at Fox 5. So Don and Jack here telling me the story. Move this mouse out of the way. But you're seeing this picture from the 1992 Super Bowl, Super Bowl 26. The last time it was in Minneapolis. Which was really exciting. You guys were there.
We were. We did the night before the Super Bowl, which would be tomorrow.
Right.
We had done all our live shots at a hotel.
Okay.
The team hotel by the pool side, so it was nice. We did the live shot that night, the night before, from outside the old Metrodome, which is now torn down.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore.
Which is that, right?
Right. That's inside the old Metrodome.
Okay.
They built the new one right where the old one was.
Yes.
But we did the live shot outside. It was Steve Buckhantz, our sports guy, and Angela Robinson, who was one of our anchors back then.
Yeah, we're on right now. What's up? Come on in. Tisha.
Do you
need anything? Okay.
Okay.
Some newsroom things going on. So we're going to lose Don in a second, but...
Yep.
But we did the live shot outside the Metrodome in the parking lot, and it was, I think, 9 degrees. And,
oh, my gosh.
It's about what it is in Minneapolis today. It's pretty cold today.
It's supposed to be... I grew up across the river in Wisconsin. And I just checked the temperature for game time tomorrow. Outside it's going to be 4 degrees.
4 degrees.
Whoa, that is really cold. You wonder if Brady and Foles are going to be ready for it. You can see Don in his yellow green, his Packers gear. He's in it.
Yeah. Well, somebody on the radio today said, "How are they going to take the cold?" It's indoor. It's indoors.
That's
the game's indoors, so it's all temperature controlled.
That was Jack's heartbreak.
Oh yeah, I told everybody.
He's a Bills fan.
That's right. Right. So, all right. Yeah. Well, thanks for taking this. Thanks for getting this on your camera, Don. I know we're going to lose you.
All right.
Yes, go out in the story.
Did you see Tony wore my jacket today on the air?
Go back.
Oh, it was so cool.
I've got the matching jacket.
That's right.
Don's got one too.
This morning.
30 years ago, this week, Steve Buckhantz and I were in San Diego at the Super Bowl, and that was the historic one where Doug Williams lit it up in the second quarter and
4 touchdown passes.
Basically won the Super Bowl in the second quarter of the game.
That was quite a performance.
And that
you guys have seen it all.
That was the last time. And Steve Buckhantz on his Twitter page has a great picture of him, George Michael, Glenn Brenner, and Frank Herzog.
Wow.
Which were the Mount Rushmore of the sports scene back then.
Cool.
Back in Washington in those days.
The perks of the job, man.
I got to go to work. So.
All right, Don.
Thanks, Don. Well, take it back in so we can see this jacket. So
anyway,
I forgot that, Tony, I did see that moment.
I haven't seen it yet. I was out with Bob Barnard shooting, and I didn't see Tony wore this jacket, so I got to watch this segment. So there it is.
I forget what he said, but I knew he had something on, and I kind of missed it. But you got to wear your jacket from there. Wow, what a great piece of memory.
There you go. Yes.
26.
26.
That's gorgeous.
Yep.
Wow.
So. It's too bad Super Bowls are such an expensive thing to do, but if you ever get a chance to go, it was great. It was obviously we got paid. I got paid to be this one because I was working. But the year before it was a Bills Super Bowl. They lost against the Giants. That one,
the Bills were hot back then.
Yeah, they won 4 straight years. I went to the first one. They lost that one. It was wide right. That's the famous field goal. It was missed at the last 4 seconds left, and they kicked it. The kicker missed a 47-yard.
I remember this.
Whitney Houston sang the classic.
It
goes down in Super Bowl history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest Super Bowl national anthem rendition of all time.
And that's the final one they ended up losing, or that's the final one they won?
They didn't. That was the first one they lost.
Oh, okay.
And then they lost to the Redskins, so I went to the first one with my best friend.
Oh my God,
we flew down there. We didn't have tickets.
Wow.
We're driving around the stadium looking for tickets. And I see this guy. This is like 2 days before the game, and I see a guy standing on the side of the road, and I said to my buddy, Don, pull over. And I go up to this guy and I say, hey, look, buddy, I'm looking for tickets to the Super Bowl. I'm just asking, you know. He goes, well, you've come to the right place, sir. I just so happens I have tickets. Now, in 26 years ago, they had just started putting holograms on tickets.
So that you can't. So
it'd be hard to do a counterfeit ticket. And the night before, there was a news report about fake Super Bowl tickets. And the way you would tell was when you turn the ticket to see the hologram, what you were looking at was a picture of the Lombardi Trophy, which is a football on a stand. And so they said in the report, when you turn the ticket, on the laces of the football, when you turn it, there should be a sparkle. That way you'll know it's real. Really? If there's no sparkle, it's fake. Okay. So I go to this guy, I'm like, sir, I don't want to touch your tickets, but if you could just take one out and show it to me, I'm not going to touch it. Yeah. So he said, sure. So he took it out and he turned it like that, and I saw this sparkle.
And you knew?
And I was like, it's good. I'm like, how much?
Wow. So you trusted that article.
Yeah. That encounter, I said, okay.
Yeah.
I go, how much? And he goes, there's 600 apiece. I just so happened to have $1,200 in cash in my back pocket.
You did?
Yes. That was our limit.
That's a lot. Even back then, it was that much?
Yeah, it was 600. Which today, if you could get a ticket today for $600 for this game, and you were a fan, that'd be a great deal.
Now it's like thousands.
Yeah, it's thousands to get in. But I got in. We got in.
That's so great.
They lost.
I know you win at least.
Yeah, I did.
That's great. You've been to a lot, and not both for pleasure and on the job. That's cool.
Yeah, it was. The Bills got beat pretty soundly by the Redskins in this game.
Yeah.
The first quarter was 0-0, but then there was a big, second quarter. Yeah. The Redskins scored 17 points. Wow. And the Bills had a chance to kick a field goal at the end of the first half, and there was a penalty on them for unsportsmanlike conduct, and so they took themselves out of field goal range. So they went in. I think the score was 17-0, and at the beginning of the third quarter, it literally happened 50 feet in front of me. Jim Kelly, the quarterback for the Bills, deep in his own territory, throws an interception. And now the Redskins have the ball on like the 5-yard line, and they run it in, and now it's 24-0 early in the third quarter. Wow. Redskins versus Bills, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is so hard. I got a job to do. I've got to shoot the Redskins, but it's my team getting killed in front of me, right? Literally feet away.
On the floor.
I'm literally in the back of the end zone. I'm closer to this touchdown than the coaches for the Redskins. I'm right here, and it's just so. Mercifully, they pulled me out of the game because I had to go do a live shot for Channel 5 back here in D.C.
Okay.
Because CBS was a broadcast, so it wasn't on our air.
Right. It was on CBS.
So I got out in the parking lot and did a.
And you got to kind of.
And I got away from the game and said, "Okay, my heart's broken. Sorry, Buffalo, you did it again." Crazy. So that's my Bills.
That's so cool. Let me tell you, I love these nostalgic stories. I love football too, and I love sort of the emotion around it. I love these photos, and this is so cool.
Yeah.
I forgot that we incorporated it this morning in the morning show. So
Buffalo.
You have this, and you brought it in especially for him to use?
I brought it in because it's the eve of the Super Bowl, and I showed it to Matt Gaffney, the morning producer, and said, hey, because I had it on, and they all laughed when I told them the story of it. And then I took it off and said, hey, if you guys want to use it. And they're like, yeah, we'll use it. We'll use it because it's a Redskin thing against my team.
Yes.
So Anyway, you'll find a lot of people in D.C. have mixed allegiances, and I'm one of those people. Sure. I'm still a huge Caps fan and Nats fan, but when it comes to football, it's got to be the Bills.
It's true, though.
Sorry.
D.C.'s such a melting pot. You guys know, you guys are from all over, and we're all from all over.
Right, you're from
New England. I'm from Providence.
Are you rooting for the Patriots? Of course you are.
I got my balloon all ready for our party. It's tough because it is tough. They do have a dynasty. People love to hate on them, and I get that. But being a girl who grew up with the Drew Bledsoe days when they were not good and they would lose every year, and my father would tell me they're always going to break your heart. And then there was that turnaround. I've seen the good and the bad. So it's one of those things where you're going to be loyal for life. So.
Well, let me tell you, you ride the wave as long as you can, because
it might not go. Who knows how long
you'll always have this great history for your team to look back on, and you can talk smack with anybody because
no matter where the wave goes.
Right, you could you could lose the next 10 seasons if Tom Brady and Bill Belichick somehow go away, which is unlikely, but if when they do, maybe you'll still be on top, but maybe not.
I know, totally.
But you have these moments.
I know.
Embrace them, because this could be your last chance.
I'm embracing them. It's quite hard, I will say, being in this newsroom where it's like nobody's really on my side, but you know what? I'm proud of it. I'm excited. And everyone has a different allegiance, and they should each his own.
Well, our news director is from New Boston, England, and then the assistant news director is a Philly guy. Yes. So I just asked him in the parking lot, what kind of bet have you guys got? And they're like, we're not betting. And I'm like, oh, come on, you got to do something.
Yeah. So it's a fun rivalry. We'll have fun with it on Monday. I'm sure there'll be a ton of recap about the ads, about the game, there's how it goes. We'll see if it's a close one. And we'll have a little more commentary for you. But this is so fun, Jack. Thanks for sitting down.
Hey, my pleasure.
This is great. Okay. I love that photo.
Embrace your team, folks.
Yay.
Go Bills. One of these years.
Maybe. You never know.
Okay.
Thanks, Jack.
All right.